Good morning to everyone and welcome. We are going to begin in just a moment. I see a lot of people entering still, so we'll begin in just about a minute. All right, everyone. Well, hello, welcome. Today is the day. We did it. We're here, and it's graduation. I'm going to go ahead and get us started, although I still see we have quite a few people coming in. I am Lily Swanbrow Becker, for those of you that I haven't interacted with yet. I'm CivicSpark Senior Program Manager, and I'm so thrilled to welcome everyone to the 2023-2024 graduation ceremony. Just a couple quick notes before we begin. Please stay muted. We're in a Zoom room this time, not a webinar, so please stay muted just to minimize distraction. But use of the chat is welcome and encouraged, especially during the fellow presentation portion of the program today. Please feel free to use comments, emojis, whatever you want to celebrate and congratulate our fellows during that portion. However, please minimize a lot of chatting during the speaker remarks so we can focus all of our attention on our great speakers that we have today. And then just another note, we are live streaming this event and we're going to share that link in the chat. So if you have friends and family, site supervisors, others that you wanted to invite that aren't in the Zoom room today, fellows and guests, you can go ahead and share that link with them. They can tune into any part of the ceremony live, and then this recording will be available after as well if you have folks who are interested in viewing the ceremony that aren't able to be with us today live. And with that, I am really excited to hand it over to our Executive Director, Bill Sadler, to get us started with some opening remarks. As many of you know, we've had a really big year at CivicSpark, great milestone celebrating our 10th anniversary, and a lot of challenges too in transition, moving to a new fiscal sponsorship home. And I know I'm speaking on behalf of the entire CivicSpark team that we are just so grateful for Bill's leadership this past year and beyond. So really thrilled to welcome him to kick us off.
Well, thanks, Lily. I appreciate the whole team for getting us to this point. It's been a great year in a lot of ways, and certainly some challenges. But I'm really excited about the future of the program, and excited for everybody today that we've made it to graduation. So first off, just congratulations on completing your service year. We're all very proud of you. Together, there are 107 of you who have successfully completed the year, including 10 completing a second service year. So thank you for coming back and being a fellow for 2 years. That's quite an impressive accomplishment, and I think really a testament to the program. It's especially exciting as Lily said, this is our 10th year overall in California. So we've got a decade under our belt as a program now. With our second year in Colorado and Washington State. We have former fellows all over the place in government agencies and nonprofits and the private sector. Well, we have elected officials, we have leaders of agencies. This is really a strong program that has created a lot of leaders in California and in the other two states, plus around the country. So we're really proud of everybody and what kind of this platform we're providing for you. I want to provide a few stats to you all that the staff helped me collect. This year, you all performed at least 151,829 hours of service. So 121,576 hours in California, 15,438 in Colorado, and 14,806 hours in Washington. So that's a lot of service. You've built the capacity of 84 agencies across all three states. worked on 248 projects, performed 1,515 hours of volunteering through regional service days, coordinated 3,300 volunteers who performed 10,729 hours of service. And last year, we hit 1 million service hours overall, and you've moved us closer to 1.25 million. So certainly a lot of metrics I just threw at you, but those are important to note for a lot of reasons. So it's really exciting cumulatively, and that doesn't even get to all the specific details of how each of you individually got us to those numbers. So as you all are well aware, you joined this program at a critical time when it comes to addressing climate change. The last few weeks, I've seen some of the highest temperatures ever recorded. I feel like we say this every year, and it's still true. And the past winter, we saw record storms and flooding in California and in other states as well. We're continuing to see wildfires and other climate events threaten all of our communities. And the hope is that you all are working on solutions to our current climate crisis. You're mobilizing your host sites and communities to take action. And that's why it makes me hopeful that despite the gravity of the current situation, that you all are doing a significant part in helping our world adapt to climate change and make our communities safer, healthier, more equitable, and more sustainable. Now, I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary of this program. I started in September of 2022, so this is my second graduation. These have been some of the most gratifying times in my career because you all make me so proud and are in leading an emerging leaders program. I took this role because I really wish something like this existed when I was finishing school, and the issues you work on are so important. And everywhere I go, I hear wonderful things about CivicSpark Fellows, and we have partners that come back year after year because of the work you do. And just, it's important that I touch on some of the challenges that we've faced, especially over the last few months. And I know you've had to navigate many changes in the program, many of which were unexpected and surprising even to me and the staff. And so I sincerely apologize for disruptions and things that were outside of our control and things that, we really wanted to be better about. And, it's really important to our team that we're better about communicating and figuring out solutions. And I'm really think we were on a good path forward, but we also thank you all for bearing with us as we've dealt with these challenges. And it's not something we anticipated, and it's not fair that you had to be here when we were working through those. But as I've said, the future looks bright. I'm a problem solver by nature. We quickly took action to find CivicSpark a new home, and I'm really grateful that my former colleagues at Public Health Institute were willing to take a chance on us and allow us to move there beginning for the next service year. And I want to thank everyone at Civic Well for what they have done to grow and sustain the program for a decade. And I'm really excited about what the future holds moving forwards, including for those of you who are returning at next year as fellows. Now, for all of you, I know as you move on to the next stage of your careers, I hope that this program was helpful in getting you the knowledge, skills, and experience you need to be successful whenever you decide to do next. For our partners, I hope your time with these fellows was valuable in building your capacity to address climate change and all the related issues. Finally, I encourage all of you to stay in touch with the CivicSpark team and to join our alumni network. We have almost 1,000 alumni at this point, including you now, after we conclude this meeting. Please share the CivicSpark Fellowship opportunity with others who might be interested in serving and promote it with your future employers. So congratulations to all of you for being a part of this program, and I wish you well on your professional journeys, and I really do hope our paths cross again. And now I want to turn it over to our guest speaker, Lil Milagro Henriquez. So she was born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana, and her family survived Hurricane Katrina, one of the nation's most infamous climate change-related disasters. She's a 20-year veteran of social and environmental justice activism. She's a mother, passionate organizer, and lover of all things nerdy. In 2014, she won the Jonathan Daniels Memorial Fellowship for Social Justice Award. In 2017, she founded, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but Mycelium, I hope I got that right, Youth Network, an organization dedicated to preparing and empowering frontline youth for climate change. In 2020, she received the Women's Earth Alliance Fellowship and 2021 recipient of the Partners Advancing Climate Equity Fellowship. She was recently recognized as one of the top 16 eco warriors of 2021 by Marin Magazine and did a TEDx talk with the city of San Francisco, illuminating the failures of conventional education to prepare youth for climate change in 2022. In 2023, she was featured in Climate Resilience by Kylie Flanagan as a climate resilience leader to watch, and recently spoke as a panelist at the White House's launch of the fifth National Climate Assessment Report, as well as CBS Nightly News. Her work with Mycelium has been featured on PBS NewsHour, CBS Nightly News, the San Francisco Chronicle for the Wild Podcast, Bay Area Monitor, and KQED Radio. She is currently executive director of Mycelium News Network, which has been named as one of the only organizations actively preparing young people for climate change in the United States by the International Transformation Resilience Coalition. We're really excited to have this guest speaker today, so I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, Kualita Nali, Nawinoteka, Lil Milagro Enriquez, Ninawali, Atikisaya Intaltat, Likutatlan, Tetokochpika, Kotli, Nawat Pipil. So hi everybody, I am Lil Milagro Enriquez. I am detribalized Nawat Pipil from a small town on my matrilineal side called Atikisaya, or the place where two rivers meet, in Cutatlan, which is now known as El Salvador. And I'm really honored to be here with each of you today, as you've done such amazing work in the communities, in communities that are very, very similar to mine. And so just to begin, I would love to share a little bit about my history, particularly my matrilineal history. And I share this for two different reasons. First, on a personal level, this history directly informs who I am as a person in the work that I do with young people at Mycelium. And second, I really want to start deconstructing the idea that what we do, what our histories are, all of our background of resistance and survival and struggle and ancestry, that is very, very separate from what we should be doing in the world. Because I really believe that the opposite is true. You know, we cannot talk about, especially our current ecological crisis, without thinking from a deep understanding of our personal and collective histories and how they inform us. And when I think about this, I really think about my great-grandmother who watched the systematic stripping away of old growth forests. Only 15% of old growth forest remains in El Salvador. And that's about like less than 15,000 acres, and who watched with bated breath when her family and her community during the 1930s were threatened by US warships off the coast of El Salvador at really the beginning of the turn of the century. And my great-grandmother was also the last person that really sang traditional songs in Nahuatl, which is the native language of my people in my community. And she was the last one who was able to walk through in El Salvador those old growth forests. I also think of my grandmother who lived during the Matanza, the great killing of Nahuatl Pipil peoples who looked just like me, Nahuatl Pipil and Lenca peoples in El Salvador. And when the Salvadorian government was really trying to exterminate all people that had native connection to the land, which was the native people of El Salvador. And I think about how those same people, my grandmother, then had to find different ways to survive on the land, as they had, previous generations had watched the stripping away of old growth forests, and that she forgot some of the songs and the traditions and the histories and the deep ancestral relationships between plant and animals and people to be able to produce the ecosystem that they had previously lived in. And I think about how that then informs, in a place like El Salvador, the fact that 50% of the land currently is unsuitable for any type of life or food right now. And it's really poisoned because a lot of the people, those same people, my history, or my people, my community, were no longer allowed to plant food and grow food in the same way that they had previously grown before. And all of this led, this devastation of the land, the stripping away of resources, of relationships, of songs and traditions of how to be in relationship with the world, then led my mother in the 1950s and 60s to immigrate to New Orleans, Louisiana, which is where I grew up. And how she witnessed, though, the ways in which the Salvadorian Civil War really devastated and already devastated ecosystem. And by the time I was born, there had already been generations and generations of resistance, of struggle, of pushing back against the stripping away of traditions and histories and stories, but also the loss of what that meant for us and for our communities. My mom doesn't even remember that we spoke Nahuatl, in the, her great grandmother had spoken Nahuatl, or how to be able to really have a good relationship with the earth. And it's in that space of ancestral memory, of hope and resilience that I do my work at Mycelium Youth Network, an organization that empowers predominantly frontline youth for climate change. And at Mycelium, we pull from the deep, rich earth of ancestral memory to support young people as they learn how to be in right relationship with one another, and how to then be able to develop a relationship to our plant and animal relatives. Even as we carry, as I said, that deep historical trauma of our people, we recognize that we keep their ancestral memories alive and well. And so why does this matter? Why am I talking to you as CivicSpark volunteer interns and fellows that are out there about deeply personal things that I'm still trying to unpack in my own history and with a lot of therapy? I share all of this knowing that my stories, the stories that I hold, that our family holds, and just my matrilineal lineage is just one piece of our collective human history. It's one piece of a larger tapestry of resistance and resilience, courage and hope that we're always consistently weaving together. And if I can uncover this story of resistance and survival and beauty in my history, then so can each of you. Each of you are already doing this as you're doing deep work in community. Because as I was living with the reality of what it meant to be in this particular moment in time, I also started talking to other people, particularly at Mycelium, but not just in Mycelium, in the communities that I was serving, and realizing that each of our stories are connected and that we are all part of our larger ancestral lineage that is all about resistance and survival. And that despite all of this, despite this entire moment of time that we're in, I always think about how at each of those steps, each of those places of like my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, and now me, each of us are still trying to create what a better world can look like. And all of the work that each of you are individually doing is all pushing back and saying, we believe that a better world can be possible. Or to quote Dr. King, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. So when I think about this moment in time, I know with certainty that we're part, all of us, each of us, no matter what our histories are, what our ancestors are, whether that's biological ancestors or non-biological ancestors, maybe it's writers, maybe it's activists that you've looked up to. Each of us at some point have said like, no, we as a collective people can do better. And that we refuse to tolerate the inhumanity that has been practiced on so many of our communities across the world, on our plant and animal relatives across the world, on entire ecosystems. And I can tell 1,000 stories and across 1,000 histories of all the ways that each of us have said at some point, no, we believe that we can do better as a collective species, and how that is actually what creates the kinds of change that we really need in this given moment. And I really try at Mycelium with the young people that we serve, with our staff, to hold on to that certainty that we can make the world better as the ice caps are melting and the rainforests are burning, and atmospheric rivers that hold people, that had people in more privileged positions rafting through San Francisco, or like through, washing away different encampments, that we can actually do better and that we can push back and make a difference. And I held on to this knowledge when my family survived Hurricane Katrina and all of the other hurricanes that have wiped away entire communities. And so this is the space that each of you are coming into as you're in your graduation day. Each of you are coming from your own lineages of resistance and survival, of how that has shaped your family history. You've been doing work in communities that are actively trying to better the world. And there's a term in Nahuatl that I really, really appreciate called Nepantla. And Nepantla is like this in-between space between two worlds, and thinking about how this moment in time, when we're thinking about our larger history, when we're thinking about 2024 and the fact that we've had, the 4 hottest days in human history ever recorded over the last 2 weeks, that we are moving in this individual space between the destruction of an old world and the kind of new world that we want to be able to birth into existence. And also recognizing that the new world that is being birthed into resistance has come from all of those histories of resistance and And the old world has come from that destruction. So what is the world that we want to be able to create together? Also recognizing that it is individual corporations and industries that are responsible for the grand majority of the destruction that we are seeing and living. And that everyday folks just like me, my communities, all the communities that you're in, each of you, we're all trying to push to make a better world. And so for, like I said, for each of these moments of resistance or of destruction, there has been moments of resistance, whether that was the Tubbs fires. For me, my moment of change, that like aha moment where I was like, I have to say no to what is happening, came from the Tubbs fires that caused me as a immigrant and labor rights organizer, but that had a long ancestral legacy of resistance, of Native resistance, to start Mycelium Youth Network. I think about the 2020 fires that pushed filmmakers to start documenting the realities of the impact of climate change. I think about how the ice caps melting and the rainforest burning are what started Fridays for the Future, and young people, high school students across the world saying, no, we're not going to go to school and to pretend that this is business as usual, and started marching and pushing our larger government to make the kinds of radical changes that we need to be able to make in the world. Young people, especially at like crossroads in history, have been the ones that have pushed for the greatest change. Almost every great social moment in history has been started from young people and from the efforts that young people are bringing. I also think about how the atmospheric rivers that I was speaking about earlier led a former Mycelium staff member, Phoenix Armenta, shout out to Phoenix, to begin a mutual aid project that centers the voices and needs of houseless communities across 5 state agencies, 30 nonprofits, and hundreds of individuals. And like on and on and on it goes, just a litany of resistance across movements, histories, and moments, lived prayers that sustain and guide our current generation and provide real moments for roadmaps of what we can do in the future. And how this is fed not on a, hope. I often get asked about hope in the climate justice movement, like what gives me hope? This is what gives me hope, is those moments of action, the deep lived action of courage and bravery against impossible odds. And in each of the spaces of devastating loss, I always think about the world that we want to be able to create together, how we're building together at Mycelium Youth Network. That has looked like young people doing work in schools to transform their schools into resilient hubs. It has looked like playing Dungeons and Dragons, taking something that is this fantasy game to say like, okay, like how do we want to imagine ourselves as heroes and of our own stories, of being able to kind of create the change that we want to see? What would be possible if all the boundaries of this world were to disappear? What kind of world would we create? And wanting to be able to offer more of that into the world. I also recall the words of Marianne Williams, who I'm just going to read this quote because it's one of my favorite quotes when I think about how easy it is to make small or to feel really small in moments of great historical change. And she said, our deepest fears is not that we are inadequate, it is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented? And actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory that is within each of us, and it is within each and every, it is within each of us, and children do. Sorry, I'm losing my place. Okay. And so I appreciate just this moment in time and being able to share with each of you that have done really fantastic work in the communities to then say, like, what is the world we want to be able to create together? And knowing that each of us are coming from that deep lineage, like I said, of resistance and survival, and would love to be able to see the work that y'all do out in the world. We have Mycelium as a metaphor at our organization, which is this underground web of strands that connects the majority of earth, like of plant life to one another, and we want to be able to do that because we can't just do it alone. Each of us in all of our spaces aren't just doing these moments of resistance by ourselves. We're always doing it in relationship to a larger community, for the love of our community. Even when it becomes impossible to know how things are going to end, we know that we are not alone in what we do. And so I invite each of you, as each of you grow and do work, especially around the environmental justice space, to continue to connect with one another. If you ever feel so inclined to connect with Mycelium Youth Network, we do respond to all of the people that reach out to us, and would love to see how each of the things that you're weaving in, especially on an ecological level, connect you to a larger movement and connect you to us. Because we know that we are at this moment in time in human history where we are birthing a new world, and it'll be up to each of us to decide what is that form of that new world, and how do we want to move in it. So with that, I will stop. I think I'm close to 15 minutes, if maybe a little over, maybe a little under. But if I am a little under, I'm open to taking a couple of questions. I wasn't paying attention to the exact time I started.
Lil, I think you were spot on, so great job with that. And thank you so much. We would have let you go over, so it's totally all right. No, it's not a hard clock. We're not going to pay you off. And I just want to say thank you. It was great for you to come here and share your voice with us. I saw the comments going through, and somebody commented like, "Hey, we need more speakers like this. This is great to have." And just kind of connecting this with you, our fellows and our partners. I view that we have 117 that are developing voices like yours. And some people are going to have that very public forum, and they're going to be up front. Some are working behind the scenes, but I think all you all need to remember your work is out there and it's speaking. And one of the things that we see the growth and the reports we hear from the partners afterwards is, wow, we saw what they came in September or January and where they're at now, and they can't just wait to see where they blow up at. So I think, if you all are watching a little talk, thank you again for your time. I'm glad the weather held up. She gave us a heads up to hold on. So it looks like the thunderstorms settled down. Thank you so much for your time. And I think there's a lot of folks here listening today that's just got inspired, and you're all going to have that voice and that ability again. So Lil, thank you so much for your time. I know I speak for the team, appreciating you for that. So, and segueing to partners, thanks, Lil, sorry. Segueing to partners, our partner, I'm going to make sure I'm the one clicking through the slides, everybody. So there we go. I got it now. Our partner highlight this year, and our speaker is going to be Brianna Moland. She is a climate coordinator and associate air quality planner at one of our longest named partners, Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District. They've been a long-term partner with CivicSpark, if not maybe one of the initial partners we had in region. Brianna's been able to work with us and our fellows over the last 2 years. We're excited that she's our highlight this year. Always great to work with her and shoot emails back and forth and everything. So I'll hand it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation and the introduction. My name is Brianna Moland, and I'm the climate coordinator with Sac Metro Air District. That's our short name. And I'm in the Transportation and Climate Change Division. And I'm also the site supervisor for Zach Wampler and Rowena Bush, who I think are both on this call. I saw Zach earlier. This was only my second year participating in the CivicSpark program, but I know that Sac Metro Air District has been a participant for a very long time, and we really appreciate the opportunity to continue the partnership. We had an exceptional group this year with Zach and Rowena, and they really went above and beyond the requirements of the CivicSpark program. And I just wanted to share some of their accomplishments. And if we can pull up the slide that I put together, I have some photos of some of the work that they completed for us this service year. Thank you. So Sac Metro was provided a planning grant from the EPA, from the Environmental Protection Agency, to develop a regional climate action plan that promotes clean air and provides benefits to disadvantaged communities. And our CivicSpark Fellows were instrumental in conducting outreach to these hard-to-reach communities by attending in-person events and sharing a survey focused on community benefits of climate pollution reduction. They conducted interviews with key community stakeholders, and they reviewed literature on previous community engagement work for climate action. And afterwards, they synthesized the outreach results and wrote a community engagement chapter that was included in our Capital Region Climate Priorities Plan. Another huge project that they advanced was the district's Urban Heat Island Mitigation Project, which was a project that previous district fellows were instrumental in, all to address extreme heat. And our fellows started by reviewing existing heat adaptation policies throughout Sacramento County and created a policy inventory and matrix. And next, they met with local jurisdictions like the city of Elk Grove and the city of Folsom, and they provided an overview of urban heat policies related to tree shade, cool roofs and pavements, shade canopies, and electric vehicles. And they discussed barriers to implementation with each planning team. One result of these conversations was an updated cool pavements fact sheet that's being shared with local jurisdictions as a resource to help them adopt cool pavement technologies. And in many ways, our fellows helped us to continue our urban heat island work in a new and more focused direction. And their service here will have lasting impacts on the district for years to come. And both fellows are moving on to do exciting work in their fields of interest. And so I just want to encourage the CivicSpark alumni to stay in touch with their site supervisor and staff and other fellows, just because you never know what opportunities could come next from those relationships and those networks. And this is also important for letters of recommendation and references for future jobs. And as for Sac Metro Air District, we're really excited to continue the partnership with the CivicSpark program. And I just want to say a huge thank you to all of our existing and previous fellows. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Brianna. A huge thank you to Bill, Lil Milagro, and Brianna for sharing your remarks. It is just really inspiring to hear the work that you have done as CivicSpark Fellows, the work that is possible for you as folks setting out to do community-based work on climate and climate justice, and to hear a little bit of the history of your cumulative accomplishments. So thank you to all of our speakers. But I'm now excited to transition us to the more fellow-facing portion of the agenda, which I know everyone is really excited about. And this begins with the time-honored tradition of CivicSpark peer-selected cohort speakers. Each year, CivicSpark Fellows nominate 3 peers to speak on behalf of the cohort on graduation. And this year, you are such an exceptional cohort, and we're so enthusiastic that there was a 7 or 8-way tie for 3rd place. So we only have 2 fellow speakers this year who were the clear first and second nominees from the fellows. So thank you so much for your participation. I think I share that anecdote because I think it really just speaks to not only the support that each of you offer each other as fellows, but to the incredible talent that's present in this cohort. So I'm delighted to introduce now both fellow speakers today. Josh Sandiego is a fellow serving with the city of Chino Hills, and Eric Hagstrom serving with Solano County. We are so excited that Josh is going to be returning in September to complete a 2nd term with CivicSpark, but we know that you both have incredible things ahead in your careers. Congratulations, Josh and Eric, on being selected by your peers to share some remarks at graduation today. And Josh, I want to invite you to go ahead and speak first, and then we will go to you, Eric.
Thank you, Lily. Good morning, fellows, family, staff, and all others here attending the 2023-24 CivicSpark cohort graduation. My name is Josh Sandiego, and I am honored to be one of the 2 chosen to speak on this fine day. And I want to express my gratitude to those who voted for me to share my message. Fellows, we did it. We made it through 11 whole months of us giving our blood, sweat, and tears to this program, as well as the different cities, states, and organizations we partnered with. Our efforts helped us reach both professional and personal goals along the way. And we were able to see the fruits of our labor right before our very eyes. It didn't matter how tough the road was, how long some days seemed. In the end, we got through it. So go ahead and pat yourselves on the back for all the great work you put in this term. To the CivicSpark staff and partnering cities and programs of us fellows, thank you for guiding and helping us through this year. You must have faced challenges yourselves, and I commend you for being able to look after us fellows at the same time. I want to personally thank Jared Manuel of Chino Hills and Cheryl Chestnut of IREN for being the 2 people I could look to in developing my skills in an energy and local government setting. Without them, I wouldn't be where I am today. I want to connect my experience as a fellow to one of the greatest American sports movies of all time, The Sandlot. Please bear with me. Smalls, a small kid from out of town, finds himself in a pickle, you could say. He tries to make friends with kids who are pros at baseball, but he, having never picked up a baseball in his life, struggles to connect with them. Thankfully, the group's leader, Benny, takes Smalls under his wing, introduces him to the team, and little by little, Smalls becomes a pro himself. I believe some of us can relate to Smalls in a way. Some of us had never dealt with energy, water, or local government before. We might have experienced imposter syndrome or fears of public speaking, but that changes when that first big figure comes into our lives. It might have been your site supervisor, your regional coordinator, or the friends you made in the fellowship. And over time, your fears start to subside and you become comfortable with these new surroundings and information. You become a pro in this field. As I reach my final thoughts, I want to emphasize how great our efforts have been this term. We are faced with the pressing challenges of communities fighting climate crises, and we came up with new solutions to combat them. We gathered volunteers for organized events that helped clean up our planet, encourage community involvement, provide networking and job opportunities, motivate students to pursue revolutionary ventures in science, and more. We led and participated in leadership meetings, promoting public speaking, communication, equality, and respect. It's truly been an honor to serve alongside all of the fellows, staff, supervisors, and everyone else part of this 30th AmeriCorps anniversary. We are just over 100 of many aspiring future leaders rising to each challenge, meeting in this very moment, and I couldn't be more proud. I'm excited to join the fellowship for the next term, and I can't wait to work with the city of Chino Hills again. For those returning to another term, let's do our best to improve our skills and once again be game changers to our communities, cities, and programs. To those now venturing along a new path into professional and personal lives, I have full faith that you will have success no matter what obstacles you may face. We've reached the end, but this is the beginning of an entirely new journey. So face it with your head held high and some pep in your step. Be proud and be a pro. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Josh. Before I get into my remarks, I just want to first off thank my site supervisor, Narcissa Antal, and all the CivicSpark staff that have supported me and enabled all of us to achieve such great things throughout this fellowship here. Fellow CivicSpark graduates, today marks the culmination of an 11-month journey that has challenged us, inspired us, and transformed us. As we stand on the threshold of new beginnings, I want us to reflect not just on the work we've done, but on the principles that will guide us as we take our next steps into the world. Throughout our time as fellows, we have tackled some of the most pressing issues facing our world: climate change, housing, and transportation, to name a few. We've built capacity, created solutions, and made a tangible difference in our communities. But let us remember, the problems that our society faces are not solved by experts researching solutions in isolation. They are solved through broad coalitions built on shared goals, networks that bring together community members, public servants, nonprofits, civic organizations, and many others. As we move forward, let us recognize the power of these networks. When you see a climate or resiliency problem that needs addressing, or a gap in services or education, don't imagine that someone else is better equipped or more qualified to take it on. Instead, take it upon yourself to find the right group of people and see it through. Rather than networking by mingling and exchanging information, asking for a contact for a relevant job application, in my time as a fellow, I have tried to see networking instead as an organizing opportunity, a chance to find shared goals and involve people directly in building a broader and stronger coalition to create a better Solano County. As public servants and climate advocates, we don't need to be experts in every field, but we do need to be organizers. The next time you find yourself questioning whether you are the right person to take that step in the right direction, know that all it takes is one person to build a coalition powerful enough to change the way we do things. Even if it seems delusional at times, believe in your ability to make profound changes in this world, as long as you have the help of others. So be the spark that lights the fire in another, and together we will build a world better than the one we came into. Thank you, everybody, and congratulations to each and every one of you.
Thank you so much, Josh and Eric. Inspiring words indeed. All it takes is one person, no matter how small. And now is the moment that we've all been waiting for, where one by one, we are going to recognize each and every one of you for your incredible accomplishment completing your service year. CivicSpark Program Implementation Managers, Tim Mock, Skylar Johnson, and I have been supporting this cohort of fellows directly since the summer, and it's been such an absolute honor to see all of you through the finish line. We're going to read the names of each of you, and this is the point where silent but incredibly enthusiastic displays of excitement are very welcome in the chat. So with that, I'm going to begin by reading the Washington Fellows. Alicia McAfee, second-year fellow serving with Washington State Department of Commerce. Amelia Fujikawa, serving with Washington State Department of Commerce. Bridget Whippler, serving with City of Redmond. Daniela Rohl, serving with EcoAdapt. Danielle Olson, serving with Washington State Department of Commerce. Eden Martin, serving with the City of Olympia. Emily Nielsen, serving with the City of Bothell. Jay June, serving with the City of Yakima. Kyle Thiessen, serving with the City of Beluve. Livia Spencer, serving with Kane County Executive Climate Office. Nellie Anderson, serving with Washington State Department of Commerce. Nick Horn, serving with the City of Issaquah. Risa Suho, serving with the City of Redmond. Ruby Nelson, serving with Gonzaga University Center for Climate. And Teresa LaRue, serving with the City of Bremerton. Continuing with the Northern California cohort of fellows that I've been supporting. Abby Lloyd, second-year fellow, serving with South Tahoe Public Utility District. Alex Workman, serving with the town of Truckee. Annika Kimmy, also serving with the town of Truckee. Annika Lackner, serving with the City of Berkeley. Augusta Lewis, serving with San Francisco Environment Department. Ben Gonzalo, serving with the City of Berkeley. Cam Foley, serving with the City of Alameda. Claire DeVrode, serving with the Building Decarbonization Coalition. Claire Thomas, second-year fellow, serving with Bay Area Air Quality Management District. Emily Comer, serving with South Tahoe Public Utility District. Gabrielle Trevino, serving with the City of Pacifica. Jonica Mendello, serving with Metropolitan Transportation Commission. Kate Battaglia, serving with the City of Dublin. Christina Weldon, serving with Sierra Business Council. Olivia Cobb, serving with Santa Clara Valley Water District. Olivia Talley, serving with the City of Antioch. Remy Wren, serving with Actera, Action for a Healthy Planet. Rona de Guzman, serving with the Housing Authority of the City of Alameda. Sutton Payne, serving with the City of Albany. Talia Paulson, serving with the City of Emeryville. And Tay Cavia, serving with Metropolitan Transportation Commission. I will now pass it to my colleague Skylar to continue with Northern California Fellows.
Thank you, Lily. I'm very honored to be presenting our graduating Northern California Fellow cohort. Starting with Arman Zarinaba, serving with the California State Water Resources Control Board. Callie Kendall, serving with the California Department of Water Resources. Camille Graham, serving with the City of Sacramento Department of Utilities. Dylan Samden, serving with the City of Sacramento. Eric Hagstrom, serving with Solano County. Jillian Lasher, serving with the City of Sacramento. Ian Thomas, serving with the County of Nevada. Jack Conroy, serving with the City of Alameda. Jason Scott Sheets, serving with the County of Sacramento. Jenny Bennett, serving with the California State Water Resources Control Board. Kayla Ball, serving with the City of Elk Grove. Mariam Ziauthin, serving with the County of Santa Clara. Mary Ruff, serving with the City of Richmond. Naomi Charlotte, serving with Placer County CDRA. Rowena Bush, serving with the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District. Ruby Trugero, serving with the City of Chico. Sarah Dannon, serving with the City of Sacramento, Office of Councilmember Eric Guerrera. Tess Vaquero, serving with the County of Yolo. Valerie Lee, serving with the City of Richmond. Urianda Pantoa, serving with the County of Yolo. Zach Wampler, serving with the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District. Congrats to all of our NorCal Fellows, and now I'm pleased to present our Central California Graduating Fellows. Alejandra Lopez Gonzalez, serving with County of Tulare Resource Management Agency. Eva Pitts, serving with the San Joaquin Council of Governments. Isa West, serving with the County of Santa Barbara. Isabella Palacio, serving with the City of Arvin. JC Stevens, serving with San Joaquin Council of Governments. Gemini Williams, serving with County of Tulare Resource Management Agency. Kylie Speth, serving County of Ventura Resource Management Agency. Lindsay Erdman, serving City of Carpinteria. Naomi Newman, serving with County of Santa Barbara. Rofani Chan, a second-year fellow serving with the Reinvent South Stockton Coalition. Congrats to our Central California Fellows, and I'm now pleased to present our Colorado Graduating Fellows. Anna Cherian, serving with the Colorado Energy Office. Caroline Pedersen, serving with the City of Boulder. Cassidy Grady, serving City of Grand Junction. Kelly Gavin, serving City of Boulder. Mark Schenberger, serving City of Steamboat Springs. Tori Egan, serving City of Fort Collins. Congratulations to all of those fellows. Now I'm pleased to pass it to Tim Mock to present our Southern California Fellows.
All right, Southern California, are you ready to bring it to the finish line? Let's share all the kudos. Adrian Ponce, serving with Southern California Association of Governments. Alondra Sanchez, serving with City of Grand Terrace. Ann Tsai, serving with South Bay Cities Council of Governments. Carlin Bachi, serving with City of La Mesa. Darnell Shells, serving with City of Paris. David Hines, serving with South Bay Cities Council of Governments. Destiny Garcia, second-year fellow, serving with City of Rancho Cucamonga. Eleanor Murphy, serving with South Bay Cities Council of Governments. Galilea Rios, serving with City of Norco. Jake Lampert, second-year fellow, serving with City of Irvine. Jasmine Moore, serving with California Department of Housing and Community Development and Gateway Cities Council of Governments. Gigi Hamden, serving with City of Irvine. Josh San Diego, serving with City of Chino Hills. Juliet Agtung, serving with City of Palm Springs. Kevin Trong, serving with Los Angeles County Public Works. Krislam Junze, serving with City of Corona. Liam Conley, serving with City of La Mesa. Matt McCreary, serving with City of Beverly Hills. Matthew Chestnut, serving with City of San Bernardino. Max Kreider, serving with City of Beaumont. Maya Long, serving with Southern California Association of Governments, second-year fellow. Melissa Belen Gonzalez, serving with San Diego Unified Port District. Michelle Lee, serving with San Diego County Water Authority. Mina Bedonye, serving with City of Beverly Hills. Nabiha Syed, serving with Riverside University Health System. Olivia Regier, serving with Los Angeles County Public Works. Olivia Williams, second-year fellow, serving with City of Monterey Park. Parker Friedrich, second-year fellow, serving with City of Canyon Lake. Ryan Lampkin, serving with City of Encinitas. Sophie Michelson, serving with Audubon, California. Tony Yun, serving with City of Ontario. Viv Trin, serving with San Bernardino Community College District. Will Stieg, serving with California Department of Housing and Community Development and Gateway Cities Council of Governments. Congrats and kudos, Southern California Fellows.
All right, everybody, congratulations. It's great to see everyone's faces and see all of the comments. It's obvious that you all support each other and are excited for each other. So we're really happy for you all. You know, we're here as a resource moving forward if you need anything from us, but we're really happy to see you off and see what great things you'll do in the future. Before we all close, though, we want to do a group picture. So I don't know who on the staff is doing it, but just stay on so we can get that before you all leave the meeting.
Congratulations, everybody. Does anyone want to do the picture? Who's good at screenshotting?
I'm gonna not volunteer myself. It's a stress doing the things. Tyler, raise the hand,
I'm
everybody.
taking some screenshots. It'll take me a while. I gotta go through every screen, so everyone just keep your cheese and faces on. All right, I think I got everyone. Thank you.
All right, well, that brings us to a close. Thank you so much, everyone. Congratulations again, and we will be in touch as you complete your last day or a few weeks for those of you going a little bit longer, but it's been such a pleasure to get to spend some time recognizing your accomplishments today.
Just a quick shout out to all of the RCs. Miss them. Love Layla.
All right, maybe you're still host, right? So you got to do the ending.
Oh, yes. Thanks, y'all.